Bading. Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to a day where I am highly annoyed by my shirts. I can't get them to hang properly. I'm wearing two of them because I'm chill, and they're just all kind of not sitting together properly, and it's bugging me. So, thumbs up for that. It is raining, and last night, oh boy, it was nearly freezing on my way back from Walmart, and horrific insomnia. Up at 5:30 this morning. Yay. And front loading your videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, it'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that'd be double plus good. And I wanted to write the names of at least some of my Patreon patrons up here. My sincere apologies. I am still not doing well, and I'm going to talk about that one here very, very soon. But my Patreon patrons help to keep me and my aging pet alive, and that is appreciated. If you'd like to help keep me and my aging pet surviving, I have links to my Patreon in the video description, along with a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link that I have to update. And thumbs up, thank you, and front loading your videos over. Oh boy! I'm halfway through my second dose of antibiotics, and I gotta head back to the ER. It's not getting better. It's still very swollen. That spot where I mentioned a couple days ago where it felt like an iron spike had gone through my ankle, that spot really hurts now. And it's still red around that spot. And right now it feels like there's like not a strong heat, but just below painful, like something's just about ready to burn me right on that spot on my ankle. And last night, oh my god, it itched so much. Itching is usually a good sign of healing, but that ain't really healing. So I need to head back to the ER and see about getting more antibiotics, because this is still dragging me down. I mean, it's hard to think. And I mean just think in general, not even just about any specific thing, just thinking. Yeah, I had a lot of piano music playing in my head again last night. Really, look up Trio in E flat if you like piano stuff. There was in the early 1980s, there was a movie called The Hunger with David Bowie, and it had the group Bauhaus, but it was kind of a vampire movie. And they used variations of Chopin's Trio in E flat for the music. Very, very good. So thumbs up, check that out. That would be cool. Past that, yeah, it's just my leg. It still hurts. It's hard to walk on, and again, it's just dragging me down up here because it's taken a lot of energy out of me with this illness. And of course, as I'd mentioned, insomnia. I get exhausted now. If I can stay up until midnight, I'm doing good, because I am dragging hard once it gets close to midnight anymore. So I went to bed. It was when I got everything done, maybe midnight, before I had my sleep apnea mask on, and I had my sleep pillows done, because I need a clutch pillow, a body pillow, so I can hang on to and put my legs on and keep various parts together. And then I got 2 pillows for my back, which when I flip over just becomes a clutch pillow, knee pillow, and then back pillow. I was, like I said, up before 5:30, and I was wide awake around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I was turning back and forth. So I didn't even sleep well. Yay! So I am not doing well because that bloody cellulitis. At least I can only hope it's cellulitis. I mean, I also think, and I hope, that it's gout that I have in my hands, which is weird because I don't eat a lot of things that cause gout. But gout is a collection of like urea crystals around your joints. And I have lots of little nodules that are around my knuckles here. And this one especially, you push on this side and it is a sick pain. Or just straight down, it is a sick, sick pain. But these fingers will stick while I'm doing things. Holding on to a controller is painful because when I'm done holding on to it, I have to go crack and move my hands because they just click, crunch, and set in place. And it hurts. Oh boy. So thumbs up for that. So hopefully it's gout and not anything life-threatening. Yay. And of course, especially since my fall, periodically, when I'll like be breathing and then lean forward to do something, I will have the smell of like blood. So, but I breathe and then try to smell, and I can't smell blood, and I generally can't taste any blood, which is, it's hard to tell because of the 2 meds that I take and all these various things. I always have weird tastes in my mouth. So, hard to tell with that one. But I'll occasionally smell blood, which is not good to have. So, yeah. Plus, when I was going through the nursing program way back in 1990, one of our students that was going through was talking about a surgery they had because they had a cerebrospinal fluid leak that leaked out of their sinuses. And it took a long time before they got that figured out and got it fixed. Well, I've always had sinus problems my whole life, but these days, I'll do something like just sit here, no problems like I am right now. Lean forward, and then out of both of my nostrils, there'll be a little drop of like fluid that comes out. Is it just suddenly mucus that suddenly poured out, or do I have a leak? I hope it's not anything like that. I hope I don't have anything absolutely horrendous that's going to cut my life short. Now, before I talk more about cosmology of my multiverse, which I'm going to do, taking a look at my list over there, one of the things that I have been thinking about, oddly, is what if in my life I was presented with an opportunity where people would come up to me and say, yes, what you have posited for the cryptid world is not you imagining it, it is just you discovering what's there. And for 1 week, you can live in the cryptid world, but then it will be taken away from you for the rest of your life. You will never have any evidence that it exists. And then you'll be able to make one of 2 choices at the end of that. Would I want to have access to my cryptid world for a full week? Considering the terror and the violence of it, I'm not sure. But I don't talk about the beauty and the joy of it enough, because as I've mentioned a few times, the cryptid world is like, it is intensely beautiful. It's like, take the most beautiful thing you can see in our world, crank it up to 11, and that's the cryptid world. It is beautiful. And the more your that was good. The more your third eye is open, the more of the beauty you can see. I'd like to do that. But then, if the choices at the end were live the rest of your life craving this, knowing it's there, but never being able to access it or see it again, or if at my age, at the ripe old age of 60 and a half, get eaten instead, what would my choice be personally? I think if I had access to a full bottle of Pain Away and they had the calmers, I'd probably choose to get eaten. But I've been thinking of that because I would be scared even if it didn't hurt and I had euphoric Pain Away stuff and there were calming things, which means Pain Away is just in my cryptid setting. It is a cryptid mix of cryptid vegetable, plant matter, stuff like that, where when you take it for 4 hours, you feel no pain. You feel everything, but you don't feel pain. The worst you would ever feel is a very slight pressure, but it has a mildly pleasurable feeling. So someone could bite your fingers off your hand and you wouldn't feel any of the pain. And the calmers are what, Comers are what places like Uncle Bonbons uses when they're processing human beings and breaking them down into tiny pieces for snacks and food products. They just calm you down. When you get processed through an Uncle Bonbons, they provide everybody with pain away, and there are a lot of calmers there to keep you from freaking out, to make your last moments as kind and pleasant as possible. 75% of the reason they do that is you're much easier to control if you're not feeling pain and terror and you're calm. But the other 25% is, yeah, they're not monsters. The closer you interact with human beings, the more empathy you feel for them. They're not monsters. They don't want them to suffer. So they provide them with this. And Pain Away does that. You can get Pain Away just straight, Pain Away with Euphoria, Pain Away with Euphoria, and mild hallucinogenics. If I could eat a whole bottle of it, probably, yeah, with a lot of calmers. But it would be scary, and I think at the end I would probably be crying because I was sad, because, I'm dying. It doesn't hurt, but, you're still watching your limbs be eaten, and then you're slowly fading away from blood loss. It would be sad. But I also posited that one of the people that's eating you, the cryptid that is devouring you, in this case me, it would be after saying I'm crying because it's sad. It's trite, but still it is true. When you cannot change what is happening, you can only change the way you react to it. Don't be sad that your life is ending. Just be glad that you had life at all. Smile as you go. So, yeah, isn't that fun to think about? I don't really have anything else written down on my list here because I have nothing, because of my inability to think and all that. So I'm going to spend a few minutes taking a look at my time over there talking about cosmology and stuff on my multiverse, and then I'll do some thanking of people, and then we'll go from there. As I have mentioned, how there is the Ungada, the void, and then there was something that happened where energy poured inward, and around the Goldilocks zone, around this portal, all these singularities of multiverses began to appear. And on our multiverse, these creatures from a much higher layer of reality than we are sank their foundations into our multiverse and built an infinite city on top of it. Now, that means we have one multiverse where there is no city and one multiverse where there is a city. Now we've got to make a jump, because there are largely an infinite number of multiverses with many, many, many different universal concepts. In one of these multiverses, where it is vastly different from ours, the life forms there are different and strange. The closest that we could come up to for the dominant species that I'm going to be speaking about is like you could imagine them as egg layers. They are always laying eggs, and then some of them hatch into drones. Some of them, if they're fertilized properly, will hatch into individuals like those who lay the eggs. And then they have their societies and their civilization and their life. It's nothing like we can imagine. What I just said is metaphor. That's not the way it really happens. One of these beings is Amaterasu. Now, she is an impossible being, and I have to talk about that for a big bit, because I've mentioned with Dread Amaterasu, and Dread is just a title. It's not her name. It is a title of respect. Dread Amaterasu. In her multiverse, there is no way for any sort of mammalian life to exist, and so the only creatures that exist there are non-mammalian, which means there are no ways that normal mammalian reproduction can occur. And even if normal mammalian reproduction could occur, no creature in that multiverse has any sort of reproductive organs along that. There are only egg layers and fertilizers, and Amaterasu is an egg layer. And as it turns out, she gets pregnant, mammalian, in 12 uteruses. She holds 12 developing fetuses. Each of these mammalian uteruses has the placenta. There is a birth canal. There's all the mammalian things in a body that cannot ever have any of that. And even if she could, there is no one that would be able to fertilize mammalian any eggs. And yet, she is pregnant with 12 developing children in each of their own developed uterus. To be safe, to ensure that her children have the best life possible, she launches herself out of her multiverse and into the Ungata. The Ungata, again, nothing can survive there. All physical matter instantly evaporates into energy. All energy instantly collapses to its lowest possible rest state. Even if you could survive in the Ungata, it is infinite. You can't swim through it. It is infinite. And she swims through the Ungata to a different multiverse. Now, the multiverse that we live in is the one with the city. The city is, you can't get to it from any place like where we are, where Amaterasu is, any of those things. There is no way to detect it, there is no way to get there, there is no way to aim for it. The people in the city detect Amaterasu coming right for them. Again, impossible. And she does it. So the multiverse again splits because the people are given a choice. Do we evacuate? Do we fight? We live in the universe, the multiverse, where they evacuate. Yes, an infinite number of people in an infinitely large area very quickly and methodically evacuate. So an infinitely large number of people evacuate an infinitely large area in a very, very short period of time, and they are gone. That is another split, because there is a multiverse where Amaterasu never shows up. Then there's the split where they evacuate, but there's also one where they stay and fight, and then evacuate. And another split with another multiverse where they decide to stay and fight, and they actually win. Dread Amaterasu, when she lands in the Infinite City in our multiverse, she actually lands there, becomes attuned to it, and live births her 12 children. Because they were born in the city, and the city is not a part of the multiverse, but the multiverse is a part of the city and our multiverse are her children's home. They are attuned to this multiverse. This multiverse will never be Amaterasu's home. It's always going to be someplace she fled to. But for her children, this is home. Now, when she live births her children, well, that's different in the two different places, because when she lands and then births her children and the city fights, but then evacuates, they lose so many people. They have to invent new mathematics to handle numbers that big. Our mathematics can handle numbers that are infinitely large, and we have mathematics where you can add, subtract, and multiply infinities. They lose so many people, those numbers don't work. And that's when they evacuate. So the city is badly damaged, and Amaterasu and her children still manage to get there. In the other multiverse, even though they fight and it's horrific and they have to invent that new mathematics for people lost, they successfully kill 3 of Amaterasu's 12 children, force 3 of them to just run away and escape because they don't want to be a part of this fight. 3 of them just they don't want to be apart, but they're still going to stay in contact with the family, and only 3 of them stay there with Amaterasu. She gets kicked out of the city and just has to take up residence in the multiverse. Those 2 multiverses are important, but not what I focus on. I focus on where they evacuated, and the city is Dread Amaterasu and her 12 children's home. This is why we have weird stuff happen in our, checking my time, it's 20 minutes, in our multiverses, because they have so much heat and pressure that realities around their attentions have issues. And I'll have to talk about that next time. Hopefully I'll remember to do so, because I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments. Actually, I haven't. I'm going to try and do so now. I thought I had, but then I didn't. So right now, I'm opening up 24 hours worth of comments. I don't know why that closed. Huh. It shut on its own. I thought I had done it, but apparently it just shut off. I'm still getting used to the way laptops work. Okay, I finally have 24 hours worth of comments loaded up. We have Skrill4599, thumbs up, thank you, and I intend to do many more Minecraft dungeons. We have Jesse Kospin, and thumbs up, thank you, and yeah, boy, I don't know what's going on over in Russia, but Putin can't be healthy or happy because they are just screwing up everything so badly, it's insane. We have Chris, greatly appreciated. Thumbs up and good to see you in comments. I can't speak English today. And yep, I got the gigantic screw you chunk of metal on a stick. Damn straight. We have It's Relit, thumbs up, thank you. Jay, greatly appreciated. And then we have Lumeria, thumbs up and thank you. Cashter, the Cenobite, greatly appreciated. Larry from Space, thumbs up, thank you. 77 Arcturus, good to see you back in the comments. Hopefully you'll stick around, and I hope your vacation was very good. Flora Mew, thumbs up, thank you. And it looks like I'm going to be back in the hospital. Yay. Nexor EH, thank you so very much for absolutely everything. It is all appreciated to know. And Hokey Smokes, there's a lot you've said, but I'm going to have to try and do the Minecraft dungeon stuff offline because they're so gigantic and huge. And Ice Damon, thumbs up, thank you. And Blue Toad, greatly appreciated. Thumbs up, thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. If only for a short time and if only in text. Well, hey, again, no major editing today. I'm so sorry. I'm having so many issues up here, and I'm still trying to set up, like, the Alienware thing properly. I'm going to get there, no fear. So I'm going to just try and take it easy today and do the best that I can. Then hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done. If you can't, don't beat yourself up. So thumbs up. And yeah, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. And once again, having to turn this on so I can turn this off. Yay! Sure, like everyone has mentioned, and I have mentioned, and when I say everyone, I mean Floramew. Yeah, I could edit these parts out. Good.